Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the Workbench. Dan here, and in this video we're going to be covering some more projects that I'm working on and chipping away at as usual. Some of these are going to be my projects mostly in this video, and the rest should be some a couple cars that I'm working on and a locomotive that I'm working on for a customer right now. Some stuff that's in the works, and then just a whole bunch of other projects that I got going on. So I can only cover a portion of it obviously in this one video, but I want to go ahead and get right into this. So starting off, I've been working on a bunch of freight cars, and that's what's really been eating up a lot of my time is freight car modeling. It's something I personally enjoy a lot of, doing a lot of scratch building, kit bashing, that kind of thing. But I have been able to fit in a few locomotives here, and I got a bunch more locomotives planned, but they have been kind of few and sort of scattered about quite a bit. But I do have a few locomotives to show, and I'm going to go ahead and get into this here in this first part of the video. So I've been again working on a lot of Union Pacific leased locomotives. Union Pacific often acquires a lot of these hand-me-down Rennerec GP units that they basically sell off and then reacquire in the lease service later on, which is really funny, but that's what they do, and they prefer to get them in their own paint scheme, which is also really interesting. So the first locomotive I have on the bench here is First Union Leasing 2907, which is an XCNW GP50. And this locomotive has been completely overhauled, detailed up, weathered, and everything, basically to match prototype photos of the real unit. This is an older Athearn RTR, early RTR series unit, and these have a lot of, I guess, they have a couple decent upgrades. It's a better motor, better mechanism for the most part, but it's still a blue box chassis and a blue box frame, so there's a lot to be desired with these early blue box locomotives, so I took it upon myself to detail it according to prototype photos. So I first started working on the nose. I played up the class lights, and then I built the little plate up for the where the old gong bell used to be on the Chicago Northwestern units. I did up the new anti-climber railing here, the front railing anyway. I added all kinds of nice details. I got the prototypical Union Pacific style, North Little Rock style plow, the coupler lift bars, ditch lights, MU hoses, cables, all that good stuff is added. Got some warning labels there on the front. I got all kinds of extra decals, warning labels and stuff like that added. The new nose filters are added, or rather the vents. The roof has a nice little bit of detailing, all done to prototype photos of various antennas, new horn. All kinds of grab irons installed on the trucks. I got all the prototypical cabling that you see on the real locomotive. All the decals are all the Furex logo, the number, that's all stock. I didn't have to change that much. I did have to do some paint touch-up on this model as well. A lot of modifications on the fuel tank here to make it look a little bit better. I got the little electrical box there on the fuel tank, and then the new gauge and everything is all installed, and along with some fuel tank piping to get it as close to the prototype as possible. The waste retention tank's added as well. You guys can see that standard detailing. Got a replacement journal there with the rotating bearing cap exposed. Did some nice bit of weathering to the sides, darkened the grills, all that good stuff, and then just weathered it with some washes, powders, all that kind of stuff. The roof came out pretty good. It looks really nice. The back end also looks pretty good. It's got all the prototypical detailing, all based on prototype photos like the patching and stuff like that. All the cool little details there. You guys can see that kick-up spray, all the nice separately added detail parts that I added to this make it look really nice. So that's a really nice feature. On this side, trying to keep it in the light here, you guys can see all the really fine, really nice washes running down the sides, just representing some of that grease and grime spill from the top. You see this a lot in these locomotives, especially Union Pacific locomotives, because it stands out so well, being that it's a bright yellow color. But again, a really nice locomotive and another really cool looking lease unit that I have that I can add to my fleet now. The locomotive runs pretty well. I did some minor tuning up of the engine along with the overhaul, but it's pretty much set up. It's ready to go. It looks really nice. I'm really happy with it. So that's the Furex 2907, the GP50. The second locomotive I've worked on is another interesting prototype here. This is an LLPX GP38-3, and these are a former, I believe, LIRR locomotives. They have some really unique features from commuter service, like they have these really cool cutouts on the nose, the anti-climber and everything, and these are all parts that I had to fabricate and scratch build, like the recessed lights again on the nose there, all that, custom ditch lights, a custom anti-climber, the front handrail is custom made, Got the prototypical snowplow, all the nice details added, new couplers, everything. Quite an extensive upgrade. This is an older blue box engine, so there was quite a bit more. It's got the really unique handrails on the top there, all the custom patching, decal work, AC unit. Got the conduit running to the new horn, which I added as well. It's a really cool little feature that these locomotives also have. You guys can see that. That is a stock Athearn K5 that I happen to have, and then I just fabricated some conduit from some steel wire and then made little brackets for it. Got the AC units on there, the new details on the sides, custom numbers, which I used a combination of highball graphics and microscale decals to do the correct numbers and letters for this locomotive. Some prototypical truck details as well. This has the fully reflective sill as well, with the red reflective tape added and then the yellow tape over that, and then all kinds of nice decals and warning labels added where needed. And again, basically like the GP50, a complete overhaul of the fuel tank here, adding all the necessary parts and upgraded details. All the fuel tank details are added. Got the bell under there, and then a bunch of nice washes and such on the sides. It's a really unique paint scheme. It's copying Union Pacific's Armor Yellow and Gray scheme, but it's a lease scheme. It was never a Union Pacific locomotive, so it's really cool. But a lot of these are in lease service with Union Pacific and some various other roads, so I really wanted to model one of these. And then some nice detailing on the truck on the back here. You guys can see all the really nice weathering effects there. If I can actually get it to focus, you guys can see I tried to model the kick-up spray and everything on the underbody there, and it turned out pretty good. Got the darkened grills as usual. All the nice work on the top fans and everything. The back here, all nice separately applied details. A real mess of separately applied parts and details all over the place here. Just looks extravagant. Really like it. All that was added, so it looks really nice. It's amazing what you can do with these blue box engines. It just goes to show what you can do with even an really an old outdated model like this. All the patching is done in the back there, and again the recessed class light patches, which are kind of a pain to model, but they were really important for modeling one of these units because these units have that feature. Then again, there's all the look at the really a better look at the truck detailing. You guys can see all the nice fine effects and really the washes that I used to build up the grime layer on the trucks and all the powders and everything that really make it pop. And then there's the front truck, and then the cab side. So this is a really cool locomotive. This is one of my very favorite GP38-2 prototypes, one of the LLPX 2238. This is one I've wanted to model for a while, and I finally got around to it, so I'm really happy. So this makes a really good pairing with my Furyk unit, and I can run this with my GP40s and stuff like that, and they make for a good pair of leased Union Pacific diesels. So another really unique leased prototype I wanted to model is a locomotive I've wanted to do. This is one of the Atlas GP38-2s, and I decorated this one for CEFX 3804, which is a GP38-3 rebuilt from a high hood for the Corp Railway. This ended up going to, I believe, the Indiana and Ohio Railway, and then it went to CEFX. A while back, these locomotives were sent to CEFX, and they just basically gave them some patch jobs, since the paint job is in relatively good shape. So with this model, I used a rare Atlas GP38-2 offering that was in the, I believe, the Vermont Railway scheme, and I had to strip all the lettering off the high hood. I had to strip all the lettering off the cab, all the old numbers and everything to get this basically down to just the straight paint job. Once I got all that lettering off, I re-decaled the thing, put all the warning labels on it, then I put all the correct numbers, all the decals there, which are from a microscale sheet, which I just basically took a bunch of random numbers and stuff and put them together and made them work. So you can see the patch came out pretty good on this. Everything else was just a matter of detailing, modifying, and putting all the little parts on there, like usual, my usual style of fashion. Starting with the nose here, this locomotive has some really nice details, stock from Atlas, but you can add a couple more parts to these to make them look even better. I did add the new vent there to the side. All the detailing on the front pilot is completely overhauled and added myself. I made the custom coupler lift bars there, which look really nice. Those are made from brass wire. New snow plow, new coupler, everything's added there. Modified the trucks quite extensively. I put the rotating bearing caps on the trucks, on both the trucks. All kinds of extra piping and detailing on the fuel tank. I used a lot of different washes and stuff like that to basically weather the locomotive. I didn't want to dirty it up too much. All I really did here was put the grime on it, darken the grills, that kind of thing. So it's relatively simple in terms of weathering here. There's not too much going here, but that was kind of what I was going for. I wanted to keep it relatively clean. On this side, pretty much the same as the opposite side. I added all the new detail parts, modified the trucks, weathered up everything. Got the new high hood bell on there, the new horn which is added. I don't like the fans on the Atlas model, so I took it off, both of them, both the radiator fans and the dynamic fans, replaced those with Athearn parts since that's what I had on hand. I could have used Canon fans, but I decided to use the Athearn fans because that's what I had. So I added those, painted them to match, and they look pretty good. And then again, just a nice bit of detail work to the trucks with the exposed bearing caps there. A nice, cool feature you see in a lot of these modern lease locomotives. And on this end, again, all the separately applied details that you would see on the real model, or the real locomotive rather. All separately applied, and then paint matched and everything. I added the reflective safety stripes to this as well, added the custom numbers, all that good stuff. But this is a really, really cool lease locomotive. And I actually happen to have another one of these that I got from a friend. I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet. I'm not going to make another CFX unit just because I only wanted to model the 3804, so I might make an actual Corp GP38-3 and then turn around and sell it, more than likely, but I'll save that for another day. Anyway, that's the CEFX 3804, another really cool prototype that I'm working on. One more Atlas locomotive that I'm actually working on at the moment, and if I can pull it out here real quick without damaging anything. I'm working on this GE locomotive here for a customer, an auto train unit which he wants patched and heavily weathered to match how this locomotive looked in the 70s basically. So I haven't done too much to it yet other than putting on some basic details, the new coupler lift bars. I added new standing lines to the trucks because the stock ones were inaccurate. It's got the weed cutter style plow, which I believe the Milwaukee Road used. So it's got that, the new horns added, and just some basic detailing right now. This thing's pretty much ready to get the final details, and then it'll go into my various stages for weathering here. But that's just a project I'm working on right now for a customer, so this is in the works right now. So I'll keep you guys updated and post some pictures on my Facebook page maybe when it's done, so you guys can keep an eye out for that. That's the last locomotive I'm going to show in this video. Again, just a really, really nice collection of locomotives going right now. Okay, so along with some scratch building projects, I've been working on some regular pieces of rolling stock when I have time, and a big project I've been working on is mailing some more of these railguns. I was very happy with the prototype railgun that I did a while back that you guys saw, I think in the last video actually, and so I decided to make some more here and go ahead and keep the project going. So the first car I modeled is CSXT 70, I believe 70, what's the full number on this, 708009 I believe. This is a basically weathered, modeled to prototype photos as close as I could. So I added all the big gouges and dents to the sides. As you can see, the sides are completely bowed out just like the prototype. I got all the mud splatter and all the stuff caked on the sides there. All the work is really an extensive process of heating up the sides first, bending them out, and then adding all the progressive layers of washes, following behind with oils, chalks, all that. You guys can see the sides are also gouged up pretty well too, and this was done with a dental instrument that I used to carve the sides to add all those little dents and gouges and stuff that you see along with these dents. I did all the patching based on prototype photos. You got all the rust pitting, scratching. It's just very grungy and grimy. It looks like you get tetanus just by standing next to it, like you need to take a shower or something. It's crazy. The railgun logo is pretty much shut on this, but it looks really cool. All done with prototype photos. And then I got the safety stripes on there as well. The trucks came out really, really nice. Combination of acrylics and oils and powders. I added the coupler lift bars to both ends and the air hoses and the new couplers. This has a really cool patch job on the end which I modeled as well, and on this side the same. And something else I tried to do on the interior of these gondolas is try to put numbers on the ends, because I've started seeing CSX putting, what I should be saying is I've seen CSX start to put these numbers on the inside of the guns. I don't know why they do that, but they have, and I went ahead and basically painted the number into the inside of the car while I was weathering it. On this side here, pretty much the same. Good bit of weathering work, all kinds of really heavy grime and everything just kind of caked onto the side of the car, as you can see. The lighting is not doing these cars justice, by the way, guys. These things look absolutely outstanding, so I'm going to have to just get in here real close so you guys can actually see the full thing. It looks really, really nice. Got all the mud splatter and everything caked onto the sides, and then there's the warped panels and the bulging panels, the gouges and everything, the rust pits, all done with acrylics and oils, baby. Looks real good. The interiors are also really, really nasty, and then I did the custom scrap debris load on the interior.